So we met at Rivals, which is a bar and grill in Hastings. And I was a waitress there over the summer when I was in college. And he played on a softball team that Rivals sponsored.
We went in there after a softball game and I caught eye of this new girl that was working at the bar.
And so him and all the guys would come in like every Tuesday and Thursdays in the summer, and I just happened to be waitressing. And I noticed him right away because he was really nice and obviously attractive. And
she came and got my order, and I was super nice to her, trying to be, and came back in the next couple days, next week.
They forced me to come sit with them one night after I got off, and there just happened to be a chair open next to Jordan. And so we met and just started talking, and then the rest is kind of history.
A couple of the old guys on the softball team, I guess they should get credit. They bought her a shot and I gave it to her, and then we just sat down and got to talking, and the rest is history.
One night I had to work and I was closing, but he wanted to hang out, and I told him I had to close and the bar doesn't close until 1. So I kind of closed everything down, and then he was outside waiting for me. And I told him, I was like, well, I live like half an hour away, but we can go hang out on my front porch swing. And he was like, okay. And so I let a perfect stranger follow me home. And it was a weird coincidence because he lived also half an hour out of town. So he didn't live that far from me. And so that night we just went to my house and we sat on the porch swing like all of the morning hours, because it was like from 1 a.m. to like 3.
When we were sitting down talking at her old house, I think that's what we talked about most on the porch swing, was family and what did we want in the future, kids, where we wanted to go with jobs, and what we wanted to do.
And yeah, it was just like super natural to be around him, and after that we just started hanging out every weekend. And
we were just kind of living life and hanging out and talking, and then it just seemed like we just stopped talking for a while, and something didn't sit right, and then like a week later she came over and kind of stalked me, but she kind of came over and said, hey, this is what I want, and the next person I date is going to be the person I marry. So once I knew that I was ready to be in and I wanted something serious, and I was like, are we dating? And she's like, well, I guess, so.
Our first kiss was actually that first night we hung out, because we'd been talking a little bit and we'd seen each other.
I think I asked her if I could kiss her, which was just kind of weird, but no, I think it just seemed like there was a moment in the conversation where it kind of broke, and it was kind of a serious conversation, so it kind of just happened, so it was a memorable moment, just one of those that you kind of always have in the back of your mind.
Just right away, like our goals kind of aligned. Like we both knew, he maybe didn't know it right away, but after we kind of got to know each other, our like life goals aligned, and I really we were just super compatible.
She's kind of got an old soul where it's like she doesn't belong in this generation, because just how much she cares about her neighbors or people across the street or somebody, or just at work, like how much she cares about people even when some people don't deserve it. And maybe that's her godly background, but it's something that attracted me to her, and I mean, it's one of those qualities that I'm glad she has.
I like that he's driven and he's really compassionate about what he does. And like I said, he's just kind and he really cares about people, and I just appreciate that in a man.
Her relationship with God, she's really spiritual, so I like that a lot about her, and how much she cares about family.
We're both very vanilla personalities, if you know what I mean. Like we like vanilla ice cream, plain things, which is funny because I don't know, you're just compatible in that way in what ice cream you like.
I guess when a problem confronts itself, like she's more reaction and I'm more like lay back and see how it plays out. So it's kind of like a yin and yang thing.
I was talking to my sister on the phone like 2 weeks after we met, and I was like, I think I love him. And she was like, wait, who is this guy? I think it was October of like the summer after we met. So it was like super soon. And so I was studying, and I was like, I can't focus on studying because I need to tell him I love him. And so I drove all the way out to Fairfield from Hastings, and he was mowing the lawn, like on a sit mower. And so I like stopped him and climbed up on the mower and told him that I loved him.
I mean, I take love pretty serious. Like when you love somebody, like it's not something just to be thrown around. So I cared about her a lot, loved her a lot, but she was definitely the first one to throw that one out there.
So I didn't know, I had no idea he was gonna do it. And I was obviously in the middle of nursing school. It was February. And I was studying one day, and that week, he told me that we had to go to Lincoln to sign like a financial contract with our friend Cody, who's like his financial manager.
One of my friends is kind of like my retirement guy, and I kind of used him, I guess, to get us up to Lincoln because I wanted to treat her right and do it in the right spot.
And for some reason, I had to be there to sign it in person as like his beneficiary.
And so I got him to text me and say I needed to sign some forms for my beneficiary or whatever, and that's her.
And so I was like, I didn't really think anything of it. So he was like, we'll go to Lincoln and we'll just have dinner with Cody and, just have a fun Saturday night. So I was like, okay.
Became a member of this club in Lincoln, and just the view over Lincoln is amazing at night. And been there once before, and so I feel like super not us, but I was gonna take her there anyways.
So I studied all day Saturday, and I think it was like 4:30 or something, and we were supposed to be in Lincoln at 6:30. And so he was like, we have to leave in like 15 minutes. And so I'd been studying like in my sweatpants, and so I got ready in like 15 minutes and brushed my teeth, and we left to go to Lincoln. And he was like, aren't you gonna paint your nails? And I was like, that's a weird question to ask. But I was like, no, I don't have time. Like, I didn't even think anything of it. So then we drove to Lincoln, and he was like playing all of our favorite country songs and telling me how much he loved me. And still, I was not thinking anything of it. And so then we got to the US Bank building in Lincoln, and we took the elevator up to like the top floor. And so I was like, wow, Cody's business is super nice. Like, okay. And so then we get out of the elevator, and it's like this black tie restaurant, and there's like all these people in like dresses, and I'm like in this like black dress and my cowboy boots. I'm like, Jordan, I'm not dressed for this. And he was like, don't worry, we're just meeting Cody, it's no big deal. So again, I was not suspecting anything. And then we walked in, and he said that he had a reservation for Hawkinson, and that was not Cody's last name. So I was like, that's kind of weird. But then I was still trying to talk myself out of it.
He was nowhere to be found when we got up there, and dinner was super weird. I probably should have proposed before dinner.
So we walk back into this like private room, like looking the whole city of Lincoln. And there was just a table set for two with like my favorite wine. And so then I knew. And so we made it all the way through dinner though before he asked me. And it was like the most awkward dinner we've ever had. Like we were talking about how the steak was cooked, and like it was super weird. And the whole time it's funny because I really had to pee. But I knew he was gonna do it, so I didn't want to like mess up his plan.
She went to the bathroom, and when she came back, I was standing by the window, and I think I cried.
So I like got up, and I was like, my heart was beating. I was like, he's gonna do it when I get back. And sure enough, I came back from the bathroom, and he was standing like over by the window where you could see over Lincoln, and he just started telling me how much he loved me. Yeah, and then we both cried.
And I just asked her that she knows how much I cared about her and how much I loved her and would do anything for her. And yeah.